The easiest way to lose weight, I'm going to show you right here, new style of video. I'm going to write some things down, okay? So the easiest way to lose weight is to write everything down. And I know you guys don't like to hear that because nobody wants to track their calories, and other coaches, they kind of advertise this for their business. Like, you don't have to track your calories in my coaching program. But like, I like to say in the beginning, it's good to do this because we have no idea what a calorie is. And that's what I'm going to start with. What's a calorie? A calorie is a unit of energy from the sun. Okay? A unit of energy from the sun. Uh, there's my nice drawing right there. But that's really what it is. A calorie. Basically, plants, organic matter, anything with organic matter, anything with basically energy from the sun. Plants photosynthesize light from the sun. Animals eat the plants. Other animals like humans, like us, we eat the animals. But there's trace amounts of energy that come all the way from the sun. So a calorie is a unit of energy. So we have to know this. It's energy. We're always thinking about matter. We're always thinking, obviously, our bodies, how much muscle we got, right? How much fat we got. But we're not thinking about the energy. We got to think of terms of energy in everything, okay? Nikola Tesla. Think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, and you'll know the secrets of the universe, okay? And the same thing goes for your weight. Easy enough, right? Same thing. So everything comes from the sun. Think about that. You are powered by the sun. You are a being manifested by the sun. It's a really weird way to think about that. But that's just what it is. So, we're a unit of energy from the sun. Some background for the etymology of the word calorie, calor. Calor. If you're a Spanish speaker of any romance language, honestly, calor. What is yo tengo calor? I'm hot. That's basically what it means. Heat. This means heat. Okay? And obviously it comes from the sun. And when people say you burn calories, that's actually what's happening. This is why our body temperature I apologize for my handwriting. I'm improving a lot better, with this style of video. 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay? Because our body's honestly burning all day. I mean, that's what body heat is. That's the byproduct of burning calories. That's the byproduct of mechanical movement, me waving my arms around. It's the byproduct of me writing on this board. It's the byproduct of me thinking about and scripting this video. I'm burning calories. These all take calories. This is all energy. This is all energy from the sun. So this is how you got to think about it, okay? So we got to record this data. So I know you guys don't like this, but we got to record the data. So let me explain. We always overestimate or underestimate how much calories we take in, okay? And this is just something for life in general. We do this for everything, actually. This bias, I don't know what this bias is called, but I'm going to look it up. But we actually don't know where we're at. We're never at a ballpark. This is why human invention, writing, occurred. Because we knew how bad we were at estimating things. So we had to measure and write things down. So I say in the beginning, write down your calories. Because right now, actually let me write some things down. Like off the top of my head, a small apple is about 40 calories. An orange, 60 calories. These are some things I just remember off the top of my head because I've been writing down my calories. A banana, about 100 calories. I just named some fruits right there. And counting calories isn't difficult because we we eat the same thing every day. This is why I remember these things. Okay? It's not that big of a pain in the ass. I mean, it depends on your lifestyle, right? I mean, if you're going out to restaurants every day, a little bit different, a lot harder to get. But majority of us, we eat the same thing every day. We go to the same grocery store. There's only a certain amount of foods that we get. Like, it's all the same thing at the end of the day. So this is why it's easy to remember the numbers. And these, your food, I call input. Okay? Right here, I actually got my food journal. I'm going to show you guys. I'm telling you, you don't have to do this for the rest of your life. You just have to understand how many calories are in something. Like, I want to find a page. My handwriting's improved over the years, honestly, so I got to find a page that's clear. Let me see. Yeah, I think I found it. Look at this. I still remember this till this day. 4 eggs, 280 calories. Like, I'm going to show on the camera right here so you guys could see. Hope that focuses in. You guys see that? So 4 eggs, 280 calories, 24 grams of protein, 20 grams of fat, and look at that, 0 carbs because it's a protein. I mean, I eat 4 eggs religiously. Like that was actually from 2017. I still eat 4 eggs a day. Sometimes 5, 6. It's usually 4 minimum. But do you see how easy that is? Like, again, we eat the same thing. Like, when I started writing out a food journal, I didn't realize how predictable my life was. I buy the same things. I get the same things every day. So this stuff's not that difficult even to track it. It's not even that tedious, right? So when you start writing things down, you start getting more familiar with the numbers, and you start understanding how much I'm taking in. And this is the next part I'm going to go to. I'm going to erase all this on the board right now. But I want you to keep those things in mind, okay? A calorie is the unit of energy of the sun. The sun is the most powerful thing, honestly, that's affecting the earth. It would have to be. I mean, the cause of all life on the planet. Our consciousness, speaking, everything we gotta thank the sun for. There's a quote by Napoleon Bonaparte. He said if he had to choose a religion, he would worship the sun. And he understood that completely because the sun gives us everything. It changes our mood, or vitamin D. We lose weight in the sun. Everyone goes out, moving around in the sun. Yeah, sorry, going on a tangent. But the sun is very important. As you can see, the sun is crucially involved in calories. It's the starting point of it. So right here. Now, we gotta understand this data. This is why we have writing. Because I think about food. Like, a food journal is your book. Your books for your business. It's your accounting. Keeping track of your calories. Because we keep track of our money, right? I know you guys all do. If a penny leaves out of your account, we should do the same thing with our calories. It's the same thing. So guys, like, another thing I want to bring up, and this is where I'm getting to. Input equals output. You got that? Input equals output. I hope you guys could see. Yeah, I'm going to press down a little bit more so you guys can see properly. Input equals output. So if I brought up that banana, that banana is 100 calories. So I would have to, and this is what you learn when you learn with these numbers. Like, for example, for me to burn, average 100 calories, you would probably have to walk outside for an hour. So think about that. For me to burn 100 calories, I have to walk for an hour. That makes you look at things differently. Everything is about numbers. You know, I should have brought this up in the beginning. All is number. All is number. Okay? I want to repeat that for repetition. All is number. By Pythagoras. Pythagoras. You guys know Pythagoras? I'm looking over at my computer because I don't know how to spell his name. Boom, Pythagoras. All is number. Pythagoras. Okay? Because everything is identified in a number. So matter and energy. Okay? So bear with me. I know I'm all over the place. Matter Matter and energy make up the universe. You hear me? Matter and energy. I repeat myself a lot. And bear with my handwriting and spelling. English is my second language, okay? Because it's going to get pretty messy up here, so I'm pretty brave to do this. But matter and energy, okay, make up the whole universe, right? And then you call empty space, but I don't want to get too complicated. Everything that affects us, matter and energy. And then anything that's matter and energy equals a number. Okay? It could be measured. It can be measured. Okay? So this is why I think it's ridiculous and not to track your calories. This is data. I mean, think about if you're an engineer and you didn't write down numbers, you didn't write down blueprints, like you didn't understand, like if you're a construction worker. I mean, I can name this an accountant. If I go on and on. I mean, anything that deals with numbers. If you're a doctor, if you didn't write down numbers, think about that. You didn't write down the patient's numbers. You didn't care about their height, weight, how long they've lived. I mean, these are all numbers. Why are we ignoring these things? So matter and energy. Energy is the calories. Okay? And the matter, I mean, that's our body weight. Let's call it fat and muscle. Fat and muscle. Okay? So we could call. So you see this? What we put in our bodies, this is what we get out. This is why I'm calling you bullshit on you guys. Because people are saying I have a slow metabolism, this and that. No, what you put in your body is what you get out of it. Like, hey, another one I remember. For example, if I ate a McChicken, this is when I used to eat fast food. That's a whole nother discussion because that stuff's addicting. Very addictive. This is 230 calories. I could tell you during a hard weight training session, you're probably not even burning 200 calories. Depends how big you are too. The bigger you are in size, height, and weight, you're probably burning a lot more. But 230 calories, how long is that going to take you? I mean, what I just told you right here, for an hour of walking, you burn 100 calories. So you got 2 hours, 2 hours and a half of walking. Think about that for that one McChicken. See, this makes you think twice. Okay? This makes you think twice about what you put in your body. And then you realize how calorically dense things are. Because a McChicken, I mean, how many of those can you eat? I could eat 5 of those in a sitting. But like, do you see how much in debt you could say? Debt, you know, a finance term, right? You see, it's all numbers. You know, going back to him right here, it's all numbers. So you're in debt. Do you see you're going to make different choices if you write these things down? Is this making sense to you guys? You guys following along? And again, sorry I don't have the bet. I'm going to wipe this down actually, make some more room. Yeah, I want you guys pausing the video these types of videos I'm making, I want people to take notes, okay? Because I'm learning how to take notes myself. I thought I knew how to take notes, but I realized I'm not the best. I'm not as good as I thought I was. But of course, you know, we're all a work in progress. So I really recommend to do this for a period of time. Write down your calories, see what you're eating. And the biggest thing, like if I pull up my food journal, I realize, drop my pen. The reason why people don't want to write anything down, and look how much I got in here. This is years. Like, let me go up to the front. And I'm not saying you got to fill notebooks up. If it works, keep on doing it. But this is a reflection. This is what this becomes. Because people, again, remember what I said in the beginning? Remember that law. We usually overestimate or underestimate the amount of calories we take in. And this goes for everything in life. We overestimate or underestimate how long an activity will take. We overestimate or underestimate how much something would cost. I mean, like anything that deals in all as a number. Like anything that deals in numbers. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's so many biases that we have as humans. And the thing is, when you write things down, then you can actually look back on your life. Because I do this all the time, because I told you I had from 2017. 2017. That's 8 years ago. I could see how I was eating 8 years ago. And then I could be like, and then it's giving me back memories because I got dates. I got times on here. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what was going on in my life. Oh, I was stressed out. Oh, I was making bad decisions. Oh, I was hanging out with the wrong people. This is why you do this. For reflection. This is where we grow. We don't reflect enough. That could be a whole nother video right there. But we don't reflect enough. Okay? So this is what I'm talking about. This is why we write things down. Because we realize what's going on in our life. Because now these numbers are becoming more than numbers. Okay? You feel me? So our input output. Okay, let's go back to that. So we got to figure out how many calories we burn. Got my notes right here, you see? You guys should be taking them. You should be watching YouTube without taking notes, especially mine right now. But right here, I'm going even further. So we got to figure out our basal metabolic rate. Okay? I'm going to write that down. Your basal metabolic rate is how much weight are you losing just doing nothing all day. You're laying in bed, for example. Because we gotta know how much we're burning first, okay? Because if our input, going back to this, if our input is less than, okay? Less than our output, we're gonna lose weight. So you see this? Our input is less than our output. We're gonna lose weight. Easy. Less calories coming in. If our output, input is greater than our output, we'll gain weight. And forgive me for my handwriting. I'm getting better, I promise you. And if our input equals our output, we stay the same weight. Okay? Makes sense, right? Because the calories in, calories out. This goes back to the law of conservation of mass. I'm going to write that down. The law of conservation of mass and energy. Okay? So we learn about this law of the universe probably one of like, I want to say 8th grade. Nothing in the matter and energy cannot be destroyed. Okay? Only recycled and moved to somewhere else. So you can't destroy matter and energy. Like, you're not God. Because I have people coming to me saying like, oh, I eat so much and I can't gain any weight, I can't gain any muscle. Or some people are like, I don't eat anything at all, I'm fasting all the time, but I'm gaining weight. Like, no, 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 you're not understanding me. And then I talk to them about it and they get personal and they attack. And I just keep it to the principles. It is a law of the universe. Okay? I mean, probably the ancient Greeks, I mean, past Pythagoras knew this. They even knew, like, you burned a log, the mass is still there, and even the gas leaves, even though it's even lighter. Like, it's like the mass is always there. And energy always moves. And sometimes mass turns into solids or liquids or gases, but like, sorry to get on a tangent, but like, you see what I'm saying here? So I'm telling people your stomach isn't some type of like black hole vortex that matter is completely destroyed from the universe. Like, you have God, or I could even call him Satan if it's destroying God's universe inside of your stomach. That makes no sense. You're being literally, people are getting delusional because people think they can eat 5 McChickens a day. I mean, I just told you it's 230 calories. How much is that? 5 times what? 23. What is that? See, this is why we got phones. Look at this. Actually, I want to do the math. 0, 15. Yeah, 5 times 10. Yeah, that's about. Gotta get better at math. Yeah, that's over like 1,000 calories. That's half your calories for a day. Okay? See, this is why I like doing this stuff. You know, I'm thinking on the fly. But that's about 1,000 calories. How are you, like, that's your basal metabolic rate for the average person to jump back to this. I know I'm all over the place. But like, borderline, it's going to be 2,000 calories. I'm sure you guys heard this. Average person. That's actually a pretty big person. If you're probably someone as big as me, right? I mean, I'm close to like, I don't know, 180, like 5'9". And right now, I work out. I work out decently. Not when I was like a fighter. I take like 1850. That's how much I need a day. Okay? So, before I erase this, I want to keep this down. Your input has to be greater than your output to lose weight. Your input, like, that's our goal, right? And if you want to gain weight, well, your input, which is your food, the energy, the mass that you're eating, for your output, which is the energy, the exercise, the mechanical movement, you'll gain weight. And let's say if your input's the same as your output, then you're going to stay the same weight. And do you see why you keep track of this? Do you see why you write this down? Do you see how close you get to your goal? I mean, think about how tight you get. I mean, here, I'm going to erase this, but keep on listening. But like, you accountants out there, people, you know, finance guys, you know what I'm talking about. You tighten down on your money. You look at every penny in and out. This is how you get as much profit as you want in your business. Okay? See, I'm relating this to the same thing. Like, it's the same model. So if you know how to do this in your business, you know how to do this for your body. If you know how to do simple math. And I think that's why a lot of people don't like to track their calories. That's another side of it, because mathematics is just like, everyone's like, I'm not a math guy or this or that, and mathematics was made hard in school. And like, yeah, I'm going on so many tangents right now. We're trying to lose weight. But yeah, it's just like, the math deters people. But this is what takes us here. I mean, like, if the math wasn't right, you wouldn't be able to jump in your car. If someone didn't do the math on your house, you wouldn't be able to live in it. It would fall apart. And someone did the math right on my phone, I can actually record this and upload it to YouTube. You know, thankful for that. But yeah. So you guys see that? So we gotta get our basal metabolic rate. And I believe it's called the Harris-Benedict. Yeah, Harris-Benedict equation. And it's been revised multiple times because it's a hard thing to find, but it's a good estimate. We want to be as close as possible because we get closer and closer. So right here I'm talking about precision. Okay? Precision, not accuracy. You guys remember that? So precision would be like right on the dot, like you're throwing darts. Bullseye, boom. Accuracy would be like I'm kind of around the bullseye, but I'm almost there. Two different things, okay? So we want to be precise, but along the way, we're practicing accuracy and we're getting better and better. Do you see where I'm going with this? Because it's almost impossible because like we have so many, again, this could be a whole nother video, but it's really hard to measure this energy. Again, like I'm trying to, that's why I brought it back to the sun. I mean, it's this thing in outer space that's millions of miles away from us. And like that energy is coming toward, it's extremely hard to measure. And especially being transferred over into different organisms and over years of time. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous when you put it like that, right? But our basal metabolic rate. Let's go back to that. Okay? And we got to realize what we're putting in our body. So this is why I want you guys writing everything down. Because it's amazing in the beginning. I'm telling you, the weight's going to come off like nothing. And people say it's tedious. What? It's a couple minutes for the same thing you write over and over again? I mean, hell, you could write it in the beginning of the day because you already know what you're going to eat later. You know, if you have your life that regimented, you're in the routine or you're locked into something. So, let me get into this. Going a little bit out of order, but, you know, just whatever comes from my head. So we got our macronutrients because that's what we have to worry about. I'm not saying the micronutrition is not important. Micronutrition, in some ways, you could say is more important. But right now, we're going to talk about your macros. Okay? Macros. Those are your carbs, your proteins, your fats. Okay? So for every gram of carbs, proteins, fats, they're not all the same. Well, actually, carbs and proteins are the same. They're 4 calories. Now, actually, I'm going to be even more precise with this. Kilocalories per gram. So put that K in front. And your fats. 7 calories. What? Are you serious? Like, look at this. 1 gram of fat compared to 1 gram of protein or carbs. Completely different. Double. Do you see why that McChicken takes so long to burn off? Do you see how small it is? It's basically double. But if you didn't have this knowledge, you didn't understand this, like these basic numbers. Okay? So you got to have this knowledge. So now when you look at anything with fat in it, you're going to know, hey, that's going to be double. Anything greasy, I mean, this is why, you know, for years people have been saying stay away from fats. I mean, there's fat in everything. This is why, like, marketing and stuff, everything's fat free and everyone's so attracted to that because it's so easy to gain weight eating fat, right? Who knew? So we have to understand this when we write things down. When I write all these things in my journal, I divide up every meal into carbs, proteins, fats. And it really surprises you sometimes because you're really thrown off. You're like, I didn't know that had that many carbs. That's ridiculous. Protein. Like, I remember my Chipotle burrito. I didn't even get sour cream. I didn't even get anything crazy in it. I'll get like 70 grams of carbs. I'm like, oh, no wonder I'm just like falling asleep right after. I can't do anything after eating Chipotle. Didn't realize how many carbs there were in there. Like, that's ridiculous. Bringing up the sour cream, when you put the sour cream in there, then you realize how much fat you had. You're like, what the hell? Like, you start noticing these things, man. And this is what I tell people. Like, the reason why people are out of shape is because they lack knowledge of nutrition. So this is what you have to learn. I don't like how trainers are advertising, you don't have to learn this, you don't have to learn that. But like, that's the point. Like, when you work with me one-on-one, like, I'm educating you. Like, we're always learning. Like, I'm learning every single day. I'm learning right with you. I mean, that's how life is. It's not like, I'm not going to give you like, it's not like you're going to start training with me. Like, that's what people think. They buy something, they should be losing weight automatically. No, you got to put the work in, you got to educate, you got to learn. Because knowledge is the first thing, the stepping stone, the spark, okay, to action. And then you get to your results. So we got to be writing these things down because there's a lack of nutrition. This is why everybody's overweight in the country. It's a lack of knowledge. Because if we knew better, we'd be eating better, we'd be making better choices. And granted, we're getting better as a society, I would say. I mean, all these places are changing up. Food stores, Whole Foods are opening up everywhere, and like other, healthy stores, right? Not the average stuff. Everyone's become more health conscious, and I believe we're going in that direction. But this is a big part of it, is for the numbers. So, oh my God, I know I'm all over the place. New style video, but yeah, your basal metabolic rate. Let's go back to that. You can just look that up online. Okay, there's an actual equation. You can plug in the numbers if you want to do that, but you can just look up basal metabolic rate calculator. Look it up, boom, type it in. Even gives you some variables like, hey, I work out every day, I'm an athlete or whatever, and then you go from there. So now you know how much each macronutrient, how calorically dense they are. Okay, we're writing everything down. We got the data down. You got your journal, and now you got your goal weight. Let's get to that. So, for 1 pound of fat, and this is an estimate, it's not set in stone. Everybody's different. Everyone's got different bodies. People are bigger. People are wider. People got more fat, muscle, whatever. But about 3,500 calories equals a pound of fat. Okay? 3,500. So if you cut 500 calories a day, and I told you the McChicken was 230, okay? So let's round up. You quit eating 2 McChickens a day, okay? If that's your schedule. So let's go Sunday, Monday. Oh yeah, I got to write the days of the week like you guys. Because we have our weekends together. I don't know. In Europe, we always start with Monday, and then we end with Saturday, Sunday. But it's gonna be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we cut minus 500, minus 500, minus 500. Look at that, in 3 days. 1,500 calories? Do you see how that just added up? That's a third of a pound. And so on and so on. You guys get what I'm saying? So, so 500 calories, that's a lot. That's a big cut right there. Okay, we're talking about cutting. It's a big cut right there, 500 pounds. So 500, my awesome math skills, 500 times 7. Well, look at that, 3,500. So this is tough, okay? Except you've never cut before. But you can lose a pound a week healthily. That's what I would recommend. Lose 1 pound per week. Lose 1 pound per week. Healthily. You're not going to end up with other bullshit problems or ruin your metabolism or anything. This is doing it the right way. So you can lose 4 pounds in a month. Think about that. These are all numbers. We measure time in numbers. Don't forget that. You should be writing that. You should be writing everything down. Anything in a number you should put on paper. Okay? This is why civilization started. But yeah. So you could lose a pound a week. Easy. Easy. Get to your goals in no time. I mean, people could see if you lost 5 pounds. People are gonna, you're gonna be getting compliments at 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. I mean, think about that. What if you're gonna lose, four times, so you're losing 1 pound a week, so you lose 4 pounds a month. In 3 months, you could lose 12 pounds. And that is just bare minimum. Just stop eating, stop going through the drive-thru, eating 2 McChickens a day. Do you see that? So where do you fall in? See, I don't like, I'm gonna start calling people out. But we got nerds. We got nerds, math geeks, overweight, scrawny as hell. I mean, it looks like they're not trying, but the ones that do claim they are trying, well, you know numbers better than anybody else. You should be able to lose weight easy, right? All right? The valedictorians, all the engineers out there. None of these guys should be overweight or underweight, okay? All these guys have every capability. They have all the knowledge and the spark to actually gain some muscle because they know numbers. Like, do you see how easy this is at the end of the day? Hell, you don't even have to go. 500 is tough cut. You go 100 calories. You could do that. What is that? Remember before, one less banana? One less banana. That's an average sized banana. Okay? Come on, that's not hard. You forget about that. Does that even take that much discipline? See, when you put it down in numbers, again, we underestimate we underestimate or we overestimate how many calories we actually eat. And that's based on our psychology and our conditioning and what we're thinking. But the numbers don't lie. That's why I always go back to the numbers. It's cliche, right? Men lie, women lie, but numbers do not lie. So I'm going to clear this board up right here. I hope this is making sense to you guys. And realize that's just a marketing gimmick from other trainers. Because they know everybody hates to do this, right? But this is how you lose weight. And the thing is, when you're working with me one-on-one, you're not just going to lose weight. But after we're done working, you're going to be losing weight. This is something you're going to take with you for the rest of your life. It's not like you bought my program and you got what you wanted in this point in time. Like, no, this is going to carry over. It's going to compound. It's going to pay dividends. This is the point of this. You're always growing. Because when I first learned this is what it's doing for me. Because me, losing weight's no problem. I don't care what happens in my life. If I get stuck somewhere or I'm in a food desert or whatever, like, it's just like I'm losing weight. I know how to do it. I've been there too many times and I know it inside and out. So everything is input, output. We get energy from the sun. Again, I gotta repeat this over and over again. And we burn energy. Okay? The sun creates heat. And we create heat also. Every time we move. Having thoughts right now, me speaking right now, I'm burning calories in my body. This is how you gotta think about it. So now it gets even more complex. You might be saying like, oh, how many calories do I burn during exercise? And we've got plenty of tools that do this. We got trackers. Like I got this, like, let me show you right here. Show you this jewelry. But this is an Ultra Human ring right here. And don't think I'm sponsored or anything. But like this actually keeps track of my calories. It's not perfect, just like anything else. Or maybe you got an Apple Watch or something. Like just something, you got a number, you got something to base it off of, and then you get data and you could change it because you could see that number go up and down. Another thing to do if you want to lose weight is just jump on the scale. Jump on the scale. And people say it's bad for their mental health, this and that. Well, I would actually say that's good for your mental health. Just like writing everything down. Because this is why we don't write anything down, because we're forced to reflect. Because then we have to actually look at ourselves. Like, this is what I did for me. I'm speaking from experience. I'm like, I'm bringing up the McChicken thing because I've actually done that before. I was eating 2 McChickens a day. Like, what am I doing? I could be losing a pound a week. What is wrong with me? Why am I going through the drive-thru? Why am I funding this fucking evil-ass, disgusting-ass business, feeding me fucking poison? Like, do you see where I'm going? I'm going down the rabbit hole on this. Why am I going to McDonald's? What kind of meat are they using? How old is this stuff? Do I trust this establishment? Why am I getting nutrition from these guys? You start thinking like this. Nobody wants to think like this. Nobody has time to reflect. Nobody has time for growth. Nobody spends time in solitude. This is where all these things happen. Everybody's distracted by everything, you know. And I hope this YouTube video you're watching right now is a very good distraction. But like, yeah, our phones are blowing up, notifications, people bothering us, especially if we live in the city, craziness going on. So, not too big of a tangent, but let's jump on the scale. Let's reflect. Because that's what you are. That number is not lying unless the scale is wrong, right? The measuring device is wrong. Then it's a different story. But at least if your device is wrong, at least you can see if you're gaining weight or losing weight. That's the most important part. Okay? So that's the advantage you got right there. So we got to jump on the scale every day. Because I know it's for me. You know, there's a time in my life, you wouldn't even believe it. I was at 225. Okay? And I did not want to look at the scale. But every single day I would look at the scale. You know, day 1, 225. Day 2, I'm 224. Oh, how did that happen? Then I'm looking into it. You lose a pound of body weight at night because your body's actually you're actually burning more calories asleep. Remember basal metabolic rate? That's not you sleeping. That's you lying awake. Because you sleeping, you're actually burning more calories. See, this is when you learn about calories and numbers. You realize like, oh, different states of consciousness, right? You're unconscious. You're in the dream world. You're actually burning more calories because your body's repairing itself. And usually you lose 1 to 2 pounds at night. You see that? 1 to 2 pounds a night. I learned that. And I wasn't actually afraid of the scale anymore because that was pretty big for someone at my size. Like, you know, this is college. Basically the buffet is fucking ridiculous, right? No, another thing to get into. But like, yeah, you just got a whole buffet of anything you want. And the majority of the time is just chicken wings and pizza. This is how I shot up so high. But thank God this happened because I lost this weight like nothing. And now I could teach you guys how to do that. Because life happens. I mean, all types of things are happening in my life. Sorry again, I'm trying to stay focused here, not too many tangents. But yeah, I realized you lose a pound a night. That information right there, I'm like, oh my god, I'm like that made me feel so much better. Because I know every night, every time I check the scale, I'm gonna be 1 less lower. Oh, and then you learn, oh, what about if I just up my water intake? Because one thing you realize when you actually up your water intake, you actually get dehydrated more. Funny as that is, right? Fighters do this all the time. You could look into them. They'll drink a gallon the first day, half a gallon the next day, and they just keep halving it until there's no water. Because they're just draining themselves of everything. So when you start drinking water, you're actually cleaning out your digestive system. And then you're more likely to go to the bathroom. Then you lose some more weight. I mean, your stool, not to get gross, I'm going to write poop, just what it is. It could be, and not to get gross here, 1 to 5 pounds. I'm trying to be as professional as possible. But this is true. Like wrestling in high school, one time I was 5 pounds overweight. I went to the bathroom, boom. Yes, I'm proud of that. No, but like, another thing with my wrestling background, yeah, I know how to cut weight. Cutting weight is easy. Like stuff like that, you don't realize this stuff because you're afraid of the scale. And this is what I'm going back to, okay? So bear with me, guys. I'm working on my attention just like everybody else. But don't be afraid of this number because it's temporary. This is not you. I'm not 225. That's not what I identify as. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't identify as someone that's 225 pounds. So this number is meaningless. And then you learn it actually is meaningless biologically because, well, I'm going to lose a pound a night, just my body recovering. Well, I mean, did I drink any water that day? Did I flush out my system? Did I even go to the bathroom? Like, do you see? So your weight, people think losing weight, losing weight, losing pounds, I'm going to put that, looks like this, right? Boom. No. And people think gaining weight or gaining pounds looks like this. Not at all. And look, reality. It's actually like this. But the idea is this is where we want to be. Do you see that? This is the one I want you to look at. We're fluctuating. And we're always fluctuating. Even people that are in shape. You're going to be losing weight. You're going to be gaining weight. But the idea is how much. Because throughout life, we obviously fluctuate. Because life is crazy. I mean, our environment or people around. I mean, I go on and on. This probably for another video. But there's so many variables. So we just got to learn how to control it. And if we know the numbers, we can control the variables. If we write it down and we reflect on it, we can control these things. All is number, Pythagoras. I always go back to this. Everything in the universe is made out of a number. Energy and mass. These are all numbers. We can all measure it. We can figure this out. So you see, this is the reality. And we want to stay baseline to where we're at, which is our goal weight or goal physique or how we want to look, or maybe we got to meet a weight class, or we got to, I mean, you name it. You know, whatever you want. So I hope that's making a lot more sense, guys. I know I'm all over the place, getting a lot of ideas. This is why I'm doing this whiteboard, because it really organizes my thoughts. You guys can write things down. I can improve my handwriting, my mathematics. And this is fantastic for my English right now, making these videos. But do you guys see what I'm saying? Is this making sense? I'm telling you, just having this journal, I was losing weight like nothing. I couldn't believe it. And I want to get into it a little bit esoterically. Every time I write something down, I reinforce that idea. Do you see what I'm saying? The way I think about this is this food journal is my book of spells. This is how I lose weight. You see that right there? Wizard maxing. That's what I'm doing right here. It's magic. This is what this is. I write down things. I write down calories in my notebook and I lose weight. What? Why aren't other trainers advertising it this way? And you guys are like-minded like me. You guys understand, I don't even want to call it the esoteric, the world of energies, I don't know, spirituality, whatever you want to call it. This is magic, okay? Like, think about in the past, women in particular get accused of witchcraft because they're writing things down or doing mathematics, figuring out things, you know, to actually like manifest things in the universe. Like, we're going to manifest your body, your dream body, using these numbers. It's spelling. Even wizards back in the day, I mean, you could say the first scientists were magicians, mages. I mean, like, I'm thinking about, like, in the Middle Ages and stuff, all the way up to, like, you know, like, for example, Sir Isaac Newton. We would call him a natural philosopher. That's what they, you know, they started getting to at the time. But he was a magician. If you look into things, he was studying alchemy, the esoteric, spirituality, God. He was an out... Man, it gets deep. See, I'm all over the place in this video, but it's okay, you know. But, like, this is what I'm telling you guys. You write things down and they become true. So I want you to start writing things down. If you want to lose weight, I'm gonna make some more videos on this. But I just want to stay focused. As you can see, I'm all over the place. But I'm gonna end it with that. I want you to start writing things down. When we immediately start writing things down, everything changes for the better. We get to our goals. We start manifesting the body we want. And I'm giving you all the sauce right here. I don't hide anything from you guys. Okay? So you could lose all the weight watching all my videos, my shorts, go on my Instagram. You could be losing weight just scrolling through my content. Okay? But if you need me to be there personally, that I can talk to you, I can actually see your situation, because everybody's situation is different. Right here, I'm trying to make a cookie cutter for everybody to consume. You know what I'm saying? But if me and you were to work one-on-one together, I could look at the ins and outs, the nooks and crannies of your life, and we could figure out everything, and we get to your goal weight. And especially it's summer right now, and summer actually started a little bit late by me because it's just gonna get hotter and hotter, and people are gonna be outside, and you want to look your best out here. So if you want to get to your goal weight, your dream physique, click the link in my bio, and let's jump on a call free of charge. Let's just see where you're at. Let's see if you're a good fit to be a client with me. And I'm going to make more videos like this in the future. Okay, guys? So thank you for watching. Many more to come. See ya.